Hi, in this video extract I'm going to talk through the summer 2011 EC1 paper. Generally a lot of students had major problems with this paper and nationally it was one of the worst papers that had been done for years on EC1. So in this session I want to just talk through four questions, questions 3, 6, 7 and 8. All these questions needed diagrams, and it just really stresses yet again the importance of diagrams and accuracy in diagrams. The four questions added together came to 28 marks. 28 marks was 56% of the paper, and 28 marks would have given you a C. An A was 35 marks, a B was 31 marks, and a C was 26 or above. Lots of students didn't really get much beyond 25, 26, and that was on the whole paper. Hopefully you won't get too distracted by the background image of my cat. Okay. Can we just start with question number 3? What we see here is a typical Bob Nutter style question. You've got some information from a newspaper about the rising price of petrol. And the question asks you to use a diagram for 3 marks and to apply that diagram for an additional 3 marks. So why is it that a tax rise on firms like Shell or BP can be passed on entirely to the consumer in terms of the pump price? Well, this is the diagram, the standard diagram. Bob Nutter was expecting students to write consumer and produce a surplus, consumer and produce a burden, but nobody actually did that. So the way it worked out at the examiner's meeting was that you got 1 mark for saying demand is inelastic, which it is for petrol in the main, 1 mark for shifting the supply curve to the left with the incidence of a tax, and 1 mark for drawing the old and the new equilibrium, adding up to 3 marks. Now really all students should be able to do that come the time of the May exam. It's a fairly standard diagram and you all should know that. Very few, however, did get all 3. I was regularly given marks of 1 or 2. Huge numbers of students didn't apply it at all to the data. Now what we see in 2001 is that the tax on petrol is about 50p. By 2011, a decade later, the tax on petrol is about £1. The pump price was around 80p in 2001, whereas the pump price was £1.30 a decade later. So almost the entire rise in tax has been passed on to the pump price. Why are the producers able to do this? Well, of course, the demand is highly price inelastic. The PED is very close to 0. Very few students were able to write that. Very few students did any application at all to the data that was given.